Warning, the following audio transmission will forever change your outlook on society. You will no longer believe the narrative. You are about to wake up and see things for what they really are. News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyShow@gmail.com. The website, www.jestersvoice.com. Everywhere on social media, @Jester_Dooms. It's all out there, man, in the ether, on the line. Anyway, today is Monday. It's a very ominous date because 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5, plus 6 and 6. It's 566 something. I don't know. Scooter, what is it? It seems ominous. And it could be for good reason, because a lot of people around the U.S. right now are without power. They're without water. They're experiencing frigid temperatures today. So a lot of places are going to see single digits today around the U.S. without, the ability of having power. Okay. And it's just, wow. If you guys made it through the storm that rolled through the weekend, it wasn't as bad as it was predicted to be. However, there's still issues out there lying ahead for some people. Lying ahead. Yes, ahead of them, there are issues. The power companies have been extremely proactive, like they always are, to get power restored in these areas that desperately need it. We got really fortunate that we didn't get dumped on with the predicted snow we were supposed to get, because it would have been the most snow I've ever seen in my area since I've lived here. Okay. And not that we couldn't handle it. It's just that, who wants to deal with being stuck under like 2 feet of snow? I don't have a way to move 2 feet of snow outside of a snow shovel. I could break out a machine and do a little bit of work and hopefully not, tear up the ground, because I don't have machines that have, rubber blades on them that are meant to plow roads with. I don't have those things. So our roads and driveway and stuff basically just stay snow covered. Maybe one day we'll upgrade and we'll get something maybe one day, but it's not a today thing. Anyway, to push this episode forward, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope your power is not out where you are. I hope that everybody is happy and hunky-dory where you are, and I hope that none of your water lines froze and broke today. But they still might. There's still time. Ladies and gentlemen, I have noticed the analytics for the show have been slowly on the rise. Very, very slowly. It's very, very slow. If you guys give us that IRL, that 1 week in real life interaction, tell a friend, family, coworker about the Doom Daily Show, that would be fantastic. It would make, if you could do that and then they started listening and then they did that, the effect that we would have to grow this show and make this show blow up would be just extraordinary. Because that's what it takes. You turn the show on when you got someone riding in the car with you and they hear it and then they're like, oh, that's not bad. I'm kind of into this. And then they start listening and then they do the same thing and they do the same thing. And it's a chain reaction. You don't know if that one person you're going to tell about the Doom Daily Show is going to get the show 5 more hits or 5,000 more hits, because you don't know who they know, who those people know that they know, and who those people know that they know, and so on and so forth. Don't be so close-minded, because you could tell that one magical person that blows this up overnight and tells all their buddies and friends, and next thing you know, the show's out there to thousands of more people. It can happen. Now, a lot of people out there that listen to podcasts are closet listeners. They don't tell people that they listen to podcasts. They keep that close to the chest. They don't let people know. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't actively go around telling people that I do a podcast. I don't actively go around telling people that I listen to podcasts. It's not something I bring up in daily conversation. But I have my podcasts I enjoy listening to. When I'm really, really bored, I like listening to my true crime stuff. That's my jam. That's what I like to listen to. Just is. Now, I'm not going to name names of other people's shows because people don't, I don't think it's I don't want people to be like, oh, he listens to them? Great. So no, we're not gonna name drop the shows I listen to. I get enough judgment from you fuckers as it is. But anyway, so no, it's okay to be a closet listener and be like, yeah, I'm not telling anybody about the Doom Daily Show because I don't want people to know I listen to this crazy fucker, and that's okay. That's okay. But for the ones that don't, for the ones that are actively out there trying and attempting to share the show, thank you. Thank you. Also today, if you haven't caught it yet, there's a brand new episode of It's Doomsday Podcast out, my other show. So go check that out for all your prepper and survival needs. Go check out the Doom Daily Show, available on all podcast platforms. Okay. Producer Scooter, you're looking lovely today. I just can't figure out why you're wearing a necktie and nothing else. Yes, I know your eyes are up there. I'm still not following. Okay, we'll be back right after these messages.
Can't get enough of Jester Dooms? Check out his other show, It's Doomsday Podcast, available on all podcast platforms. That's It's Doomsday Podcast.
Back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I'm your host, Jester Dooms. You know, there was a couple things I wanted to get into on today's show. However, we got to talk about this latest ICE shooting. Okay, now I have told you fuckers, stay out of their way, let them do their job. They will eventually dissipate, right? Like they're going to come, they're going to do their job, and then they're going to go home. Okay? The more you fight it, the more you are okay, listen, the more you fight it, the more in harm's way you're putting yourself. The more you protest, the more you're putting yourself out there. This is just that's just what it is. So if you don't know, the official story seems like it's changing, but we're going to get into an article that was released about this on the Epic Times. This is on the Epic Times, guys. This is federal agent fatally shot armed suspect in Minneapolis, DHS. A federal officer fatally shot an armed man during a struggle to disarm him in Minneapolis on January 24th, according to the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. On Saturday morning, Border Patrol officers were attempting to arrest an illegal immigrant wanted for violent assault when an armed 37-year-old approached them with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. In quotations, the officer attempted to disarm the suspect, but the armed suspect violently resisted, DHS said in a statement. Fearing for his life, the lives and safety of fellow officers, and agent fired defensive shots. Medics on scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but was pronounced dead at the scene. The armed suspect was identified by his parents as Alex Petit, an intensive care unit nurse. Okay. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara suggested Petit was a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. DHS said the person had 2 additional magazines and no identification. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement, DHS said. The incident comes amid anti-ICE protest in the city since protesters Renee Good was shot and killed by an immigration and customs law enforcement ICE officer after she appeared to hit a federal agent with her car during an immigration operation. Federal authorities maintained that the ICE agent acted in self-defense. The shooting on Saturday prompted hundreds of protesters to flood the scene, and crowd control measures had to be deployed, according to DHS. All right. Okay. I told you fuckers it was going to get worse. I told you fuckers to not get involved. I told you fuckers stay out of their way. Listen, they got a job to do. They're going to do that job. It doesn't matter how much you protest. It doesn't matter if you throw your poop at them. They are going to do their job. Okay? They have operations to carry out. That's going to happen whether you like it or not. Okay? That's the way it is. Now, what had happened to this gentleman, this is bad. Okay. And this is the kind of shit I was talking about where you're going to fuck around and find out. Now, I went back and I watched the videos of this shooting. Okay. And I, for the life of me, can't think what was going through these officers' minds. I can't help but wonder if they just weren't running on pure adrenaline. I don't know. I could see how this situation could have escalated to where it did, and I could also see how you could accidentally pull a trigger in this scenario. So the videos I watched on this, let me break this down. You've got these protesters angrily blowing whistles at ICE officials, getting closer and closer and closer, antagonizing them, harassing them, trying to push every button they can. But yet these are federal officers with a job to do, so they're not backing down. They don't give a fuck about your whistle. All it's doing is making their job harder and making you a target. Okay, this is bad. Then I watched as a physical altercation ensued with ICE officers pushing and shoving these guys just at random, okay, till one of them deployed what looked to be like OC. Looked like they had a can of OC that they started to deploy, and they sprayed the shit out of this guy. Now, if any of you have ever been hit with OC before, you know that the first thing it does is it shuts your eyes. You can't see anything and you're struggling to see. Now, when your adrenaline is peaked and there's an altercation, your body wants to divert, like it diverts that adrenaline to the part of the bodies that need it. And when you're in a physical altercation, what do you need? You need your eyes. Your sense of feeling goes away. You might get punched in the jaw and not even realize it, but you'll see it happen. Okay, so obviously this guy's fighting to get his eyes open and he's trying to block the spray. And then I see them try to detain him. And it doesn't look to me like he's actively fighting back. It looks to me like he is resisting, but not forcefully resisting. Like he's not like hitting these guys with anything. He's not trying to like throw bows in their face. He's not trying to fight them putting cuffs on. Like they never got to that point. But as they're in their rumbling altercation, I watched that ICE agent take that bottle of OC and start hitting this guy in the fucking face with it. All right. Then as they're rolling the guy over to try to get him under control, you can see his jacket come up and them spot a gun in his waistband. So at this point, I'm assuming somebody said gun, okay? You can watch in the video as the ICE officer removes the gun that was holstered from the suspect and walk away from the altercation with the firearm as shots are ringing out. I mean, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I would not in a million years call this a justifiable killing. I think that what happened was extreme goddamn negligence on so many factors with the federal agents that were involved. Okay. Now, it doesn't fucking help. And I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second here. It doesn't help with the way they deployed the OC, because I bet a lot of those other officers were covered in OC and couldn't see what the fuck was going on either. So maybe one of them heard gun. He couldn't fucking see anything. All he could basically, maybe he couldn't see well. So he just started putting shots into this guy because he didn't know where the gun was, which is understandable. You hear gun, you're in fear of your life. You can't see. There's one suspect you're fighting with. You put bullets in him. So you make sure you go home to your family. All right. Now, there's a lot of controversy out there. There's a lot of people that are utilizing this ICE shooting for their 15 minutes of fame on TikTok and all these things. And I'm not here for it. I debated all day yesterday making a video about this and stating my opinion. But I was like, you know what? I have a fucking podcast for that. I don't need to get the 15 minutes of fame on TikTok. And plus, what I would have had to say would have went over badly anyway. Because the first thing I'm going to say is I got a couple things here. Number one, I fucking told you so. I fucking told you it was going to get worse. I told you to stay home. I told you to stay out of their way. Okay? Like, I've been preaching that on TikTok Live. I've been preaching that on this show. They got a job to do. Nothing is going to change that. I've been telling people this in real life too. Just stay the fuck away. All right? Just stay the fuck away. If you see him outside rolling up and down your street, they knock on your door, be compliant. Yes, sir. No, sir. Can we come in and take a look around? I mean, technically, you don't have to. You have the castle doctor and you have the Fourth Amendment. Right. But if they came to my house and said, could we come in and look around? We're looking for the suspect. Gladly. Come on in. Is there anything I can do for you guys? Else? Is there anything I can help with? I'm going to be extremely compliant because once they come through and they clear my home, I'm going on a list. And guess what? They're not fucking coming back. Unless there is a dangerous suspect in the area and they have reason to believe he might be at my place. Furthermore, I also told you guys we were going to see more of these incidents. And now it's going to escalate to where we're going to see more of them. Because a second killing means more protest. Like, you know, we're talking there's going to be bigger shit happening here. Now, the media isn't going after this like they did with the George Floyd shit, which I find to be very shitty, but whatever. That's my opinion. We are going to see it escalate. We're going to see bigger protests. I guarantee you, if we weren't plagued with the weather we were plagued with this weekend, you'd probably be seeing some crazy shit right now. It's bad weather. No one's going to protest in a fucking blizzard. But wait, it's coming. It's coming. So bear in mind, things are going to get worse. And if I was an illegal immigrant right now, hunkering down somewhere in this country, I would be absolutely terrified. You know why? Because it doesn't look like shit is stopping them. It does not, to me, look like anything is going to slow them down. The protests aren't working. They're out dropping citizens in the street, and they're not being pulled back on. I mean, if they're coming for you, you know your time is limited. The end. You've only got so much time to exist out there before they really like tear into your ass, or they find you and they deport you. It would be it would be really beneficial if you would just turn yourself in, self-deport. That'd be your best bet, because they're coming regardless. They're coming like a fucking storm. Okay? I had a buddy of mine I talked to yesterday, and he says, you know, it's really funny. You didn't hear any crying or complaining at all under Democratic administration when they were deporting people. I heard a little bit. I heard a little bit about the crisis at the border and the conditions people were being kept in that were trying to come in. But they didn't talk about the deportations. Because it's a season. It's a fad. It's a fad to be political. All these people that have all this time to go out and protest all day and write shit online all day and, you know, do all this crap. I mean, do they even have jobs? Like, what are they doing? Where do you find the time to just go chase down and protest all day? Like, where do you find this fucking time from? I work part-time, and I don't have that kind of time to go do that shit. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages. Producer Scooter, if you would, sir, press that button.
Jester from It's Doomsday Podcast and the Doom Daily Show here. Do you ever find yourself overloaded with way too much information? Too many logins, too many passwords, too many websites for stuff you like? Yeah, I'm the same way. You don't have to worry about that with the Doom Daily Show and It's Doomsday Podcast. Let's make it simple. Just visit linktree.com/JesterDooms. Add it to your bookmarks. That way, when you need to find the right information, it's right there, under a tap of your finger or a click of your mouse. Go to linktree.com/JesterDooms. Get it, got it, done. Remember, no one has all the answers, but this will provide you with a place to start. linktree.com/JesterDooms. And now, on with the conversation. And here's Jester.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Now, to continue into this shooting, on the Epic Times, judge orders federal government to retain evidence related to Minnesota shooting. A federal judge late on January 24th ordered the Trump administration to retain all evidence related to the fatal shooting of Alex Jeffrey Petit during an altercation with Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis earlier that day. In his order, Judge Eric Toasterd sorry, of the U.S. District of Court for the District of Minnesota wrote that the Department of Homeland Security, DHS officials and other federal agency officials are prohibited from destroying or altering evidence related to the fatal shooting, including but not limited to evidence that defendants and those working on their behalf removed from the scene and or evidence that defendants have taken into their exclusive custody. Toasterd's order granted the request from the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension in Hepburn County, Hennepin County. God. Hennepin County. I think I'm saying that correctly. Prosecutors. Federal officials have alleged that Preddy was wielding a gun before he was sprayed with a chemical irritant, pulled to the ground, and ultimately shot by a Border Patrol agent. Go back, watch the videos. The officers attempted to disarm the suspect, but the armed suspect violently resisted, DHS said in a statement. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. Go back and watch the video. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison called it for an independent investigation into the incident. Federal agents are not above the law, and Alex Pertee was certainly not beneath it. Ellison said in a statement, a full, impartial, and transparent investigation into this fatal shooting at the hands of DHS agents is non-negotiable. Ellison said the lawsuit was intended to bar the federal government from destroying or tampering with any evidence it has collected throughout the events related to the shooting. Justice will be done, he said. DHS Agent Secretary Tricia McLovin told the Epoch Times in a statement, any claim that the federal government would destroy evidence is a ridiculous attempt to divide the American people and distract from the fact our own law enforcement officers were attacked and their lives were threatened yesterday. Watch the video. We are actively investigating this matter and will continue to do so as we do for any officer-involved shooting. DHS eagerly awaits any effort from Minnesota to help our officers arrest criminal aliens in the meantime. Toaster wrote in his order that a hearing would be held at 2 p.m. local time on January 26th, which is today, in which the federal government will have a chance to raise any objections to the order, including whether it should remain in effect. Any written response or objections to the order must be filed by noon on January 26th, he said. Okay, first off, let me break this down for a second. This is, whether you look at this as homicide or whatever kind of crime you want to chalk this up to, this man is dead. Therefore, evidence involved in this incident should be held indefinitely for at least 99 years. That evidence should be held. Okay, now, also with that, let's not forget there are crooked motherfuckers out there. These federal agents, they poop, they drink, they've probably done drugs in the past. They're not all straight shooters. There could be corruption on some levels. So destroying evidence, could they do that? Yes. Could they get rid of evidence? Yes, they could. If they wanted to. I mean, if they were crooked, if their moral compass wasn't pointing due north, yes, they could. During an interview with Fox News on January 25th, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem asked about one video angle that appeared to show a federal agent removing a weapon from either Perteet's waistband or a holster, then walking away with the weapon before officers ultimately shot Pertee. This last name is killing me. Pertee. It appears that Alex Pertee was disarmed. Fox host Peter Dossie asked the secretary if he was disarmed, is it protocol to use deadly force? Noem responded that all video angles will be part of this investigation. They damn well fucking should be. Okay? Every video will be analyzed. Everything will be looked at. And that's part of the answers that I can speak to. Every single thing that those officers thought. But this happened in seconds, she said. They clearly feared for their lives and took action to defend themselves and the people around them. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said on January 24th, we believe Pertee was a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. And the protests are continuing. Protests continue after shooting. One day after the shooting, protests continued across Minnesota's Twin Cities and in other places nationwide, including Los Angeles, New York City, and Washington. Despite temperatures plummeting to minus 6 degrees Fahrenheit on January 25th, protests had coverage on the scene of the January 24th shooting in Minneapolis, with a crowd yelling at federal agents and telling them to go home. Some pulled garbage cans from alleys, block streets, and other protesters chanted, observing immigration and customs enforcement. It's not a crime, and immigration and customs enforcement out now. Hundreds of people also visited a makeshift memorial for Pertee and the location of the shooting. The Virginia-based nonprofit International Association of Chiefs of Police issued a statement on January 25th calling for the White House to convey federal, state, and local law enforcement leaders for policy-level discussion aimed at identifying a constructive path forward following the events in Minnesota. Periods of heightened tension place significant strain on public safety systems and underscore the need for stability, professionalism, and respect for constitutional principles, the statement reads. Guys, it's again, I'm not going to continue any more into this. It's again, these guys are poking the bear, and the bear's going to poke back. I am glad I wasn't one of these guys on scene. I am glad I wasn't involved in this, because I'm telling you what, I think these guys in particular with this shooting, I think they're going to get into some shit. I think these particular officers are going to go down. And I think that they're also going to have to make an example of these guys just due to the nationwide outcry. I think they're going to have to. But despite that, I mean, despite all that, I mean, could you put yourself in this guy's shoes? You're covered in OC. There's OC everywhere. You can't see shit. Someone says gun. All you could see is a suspect, and you shoot. I mean, yeah. And if you get away with that, you have to live with that. That's a moral dilemma that I couldn't handle that. That'd be horrible to live with. But one of these guys is going to have to live with that. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to today's episode of the Doom Daily Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on all the social media platforms everywhere out there. Make sure you're following and you have notifications turned on. Also, your code word of the week is tripod. All right, Producer Scooter, if you would hit that button, sir.
News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.